A good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Parashat Chukat, my bar mitzvah parsha. The parsha is very, very close to my heart, obviously, and one that I look forward to every year. But it opens up with, again, a very, very enigmatic mitzvah. The mitzvah of Para Aduma Zos Chukas HaTorah. Soloveitchik pointed out that you know what the ultimate chok is? The real chok is not just the ritual of how we go ahead and achieve a posture of tahara after being tamei meis, but perhaps the biggest chok of all is misa itself, is to know how to navigate this finite life and understanding that our time on this world is limited, our relationships with our loved ones in this world is limited, and that sense of zos chukas haTorah, death itself, is perhaps, as what Soloveitchik points out, the mysterium tremendum, the biggest mystery of all, the chok that we have the least understanding of whatsoever. That Hashem gives us parents for a certain amount of time, children, relatives, etc., and we lose people, and it's part of the human condition. And how to navigate that, and why does Hashem give us, on the one hand, that opportunity, on the other hand, that sense of pain when we have losses. Again, I am in the midst of a 23-month period of Avelus, first for my mother, and then for my father. As I was concluding the Avelus for my mother, I've had the schus, but also the unfortunate challenge of spending time with Hagon Rav Asher Weiss, as he's just lost his wife, and seeing how he navigates and how he copes with that challenge. I'll share with you a mashal that he came to the yeshiva just a few days ago, and he shared with us a phenomenal mashal. How do you go ahead and deal with this chok, this tremendous sense of loss? So he expressed to the Talmidim, but he expressed his own family, and that is that he, mashal, that you're traveling, you have a trip to go on, and they upgrade you to first class. And as you're waiting for your flight, first class passengers, they get to go to the first class lounge. And anyone who's been in one of those first class lounges knows it is quite geschmack. They're serving you whatever you want, drinks, hot drinks, cold drinks, intoxicating beverages, soups, food, sandwiches, etc. Very comfortable places to sit. It is very, very geschmack. And now imagine that someone you haven't seen in 15 years, 20 years comes into the first class lounge as well. You're reminiscing, you reconnect, you're having a great time in the first class lounge. And then they call your flight. It's time to board the plane. And your friend who you've just reconnecting with says, "Where are you going?" "They called my flight." "Why are you going?" "We're having such a good time over here. We're enjoying the food, the accommodations. We're being waited on left and right. We haven't seen each other in so long. Why are you going?" "What do you mean?" "I have a flight to catch." So obviously you're not going to hang out in the first class lounge when you have a flight to catch. You're not here for the first class lounge. You're here for the flight you have to catch. The first class lounge is just a place to wait while you're waiting for your flight. That's the mashal that Rav Asher Weiss shared with us. And he pointed out that this world, as Chazal tell us, is a prosdor, and the Olam Haba, the ultimate world, is the Traklin, is the great palace. But this prosdor is quite enjoyable. There's a lot of very, very nice things in this prosdor, and we spend time with people that we love very, very deeply. But sometimes their flight is called, and sometimes they have to catch their flight, and no one would think to stay in the first class lounge. Your agenda is to get to that flight, and Hashem calls our flight, and when the flight is called, that's where we're supposed to go. That is the Traklin. So Rasha Weiss said that was a nechama for him, to understand that despite losing a relative, his wife at the age of 61, I believe, relatively young, but understood that this world is a prosdor, and the next world is the Traklin. And that's how he got some nechama, gave nechama to his family. In that context, just want to share again as part of Parashat Shavua, Parashat Chukat. So as part of the dinim of Tumah, we also learn about the Tumah of Kalim. Tumah of Kalim. And we're told, for example, at the end of Rishon, that there's a certain type of Tumah of a Kli Cheres. And a kli cheres does not have a process of tahara. A kli mateches, on the other hand, does have a process of tahara. Kli mateches you can table in the mikveh. Kli cheres has no tahara, has to be destroyed. And how does a kli mateches get tameh, and how does a kli cheres become tameh? So the way a kli cheres becomes tameh, if this is your kli cheres, you don't need physical contact with the tumah, as long as the tumah enters into the toch without any physical contact whatsoever. So the kli cheres becomes tameh and now must be destroyed. That's how the tumah of kli cheres works. Unlike a kli mateches, a metal kli, so there has to be a physical contact, physical touch. What is the idea? What's the difference between the process of tumah of kli cheres and the process of tumah of a kli mateches? So the Kotzker Rebbe explains the following idea. Kli cheres, earthenware, is a very, very common type of kli, very cheap, very inexpensive. Its whole value is its functionality. It's not inherently chashuv, it's made out of mud. It's not expensive, it's not a valuable item, and its whole value is its functionality. Unlike kli mateches, a kli made out of gold, silver, there is value in the substance of the kli itself. That's really where its value is. Yeah, it also has functionality, but its real value is in its substance, in its stuff, not its functionality. Therefore, when it comes to kli cheres, so the kli cheres, its value is the toch. Its value is not the stuff. Its value is the toch, its functionality. That's how it becomes tameh. When its toch is now subject to mace or sheretz or what have you, that's when it becomes tameh. Unlike a kli mateches, it's chitzoni, it's external, it's material, and therefore its tumah gets engendered when something touches its externality, its substance. Perhaps the tahara is similar, is when something is, its essence is its functionality, it has no tahara once its functionality has been dissipated. Its functionality is its essence, so you can't be metahar the kli because it's not about the kli, it's about the functionality of the kli. Unlike kli mateches, where its substance, its essence is the stuff itself, so you metahar, you put it in the mikveh, it now becomes tahar. So the Kotzker Rebbe explains that a human being is much more like kli cheres than like kli mateches, because our ultimate value is not really our stuff. Yes, people look different, we have stuff, that's not who we are. What we are is our toch. What we are is what we produce, what we create, what we become, what we make of ourselves inside, our functionality. What we are, be'etzem, our neshama, is really our fundamental essence. And that's a crucial lesson that we learn from the kli cheres. We're much more like kli cheres than kli mateches. Yes, some people live a life of kli mateches, and they're about externals. They're about gashmias, they're about their materialism. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's really fundamentally supposed to be about our inner worth, our inner value, our core ideals. That's what defines us. And in that sense, that's our mashal, that's our connection to the kli cheres. And therefore we should be zochet to understand that yes, what is this world all about? It is about the prosdor. The real palace is awaiting us. The real world is awaiting us. And as we navigate the chok of life, so we understand this idea, and it'll help us navigate the trials and tribulations, the vicissitudes of this world in a much more effective manner. Have a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh.